work with a group called the Congregate Action Team in Boston, which is doing support for the lawsuit of the Christic Institute against 29 members and former members of the federal government for gun and drug running for the last 25 years. I'll tell you more about it as we go along. So the question is, who is Fawn Hall? Is she just a secretary, or is she a co-conspirator? She's best known, of course, as part of the gold medal-winning mixed doubles team in Olympic shredding. Shredding doubled with Oliver North, of course. She's also known for removing secret documents from government offices, again with Lieutenant Colonel North. What do we know about her that she's done on her own, though? Well, of course, it was Fawn who managed to reverse 2 digits in the Swiss bank account number for depositing the donation from the Sultan of Brunei, thus losing $10 million to Ollie North's little cause. Otherwise, it's as an accessory to Ollie North's misdeeds that she is known. And it's those misdeeds with North on the National Security Council that I'm going to describe. First of all, about Ronald Reagan's propaganda ministry. You probably didn't hear about it. They didn't publicize it much. We should be cheered, I guess, to learn that the CIA's charter expressly forbids it from engaging in domestic propaganda activities. But CIA Director Casey, of course, found a new way. He suggested other instruments for planning and direction of what they creatively called public diplomacy. So in January of '83, President Reagan signed a National Security Defense Directive called Management of Public Diplomacy Relative to National Security. We would say political propaganda. Within the National Security Council, the Special Planning Group was formed, setting up an Office of Public Diplomacy, what George Orwell called the Ministry of Truth. A CIA psychological operations specialist was transferred to the NSC from the CIA to be public diplomacy coordinator, running weekly meetings with Ollie North regularly in attendance. Within a year, they had a staff of 20 and a $1 million budget. Florida Congressman Donnie Fasell, a supporter of the administration on Central America, said the whole thing was being run by North out of the NSC. In addition to publishing the administration's line on Central America, delivering inaccurate white papers to the media and civic and educational groups, they, quote, leaked, unquote, fabricated, supposedly classified material to journalists. The OPD also concocted what is called white propaganda. That is planting their material written by them in newspapers and magazines under the names of academics, an activity that was restricted in the CIA after the Church and Pike Committee hearings following Watergate. Eventually, the General Accounting Office investigated the OPD and ruled these activities illegal there, too. But worse, the OPD spent almost $500,000 through, quote, private public relations firms to conduct propaganda work, lobbying and other public relations for the Contras, including running ads attacking congressmen who voted against a military policy in Central America that Reagan backed. Get it? That's our tax dollars being funneled for privately placed ads, supposedly privately placed ads against congressmen. In April of '86, the State Department, under Elliott Abrams, gave the Meritorious Honor Award to the OPD for its support work. However, after the Iran-Contra hearing, Congress characterized this North tool as institutionalized propaganda ministry, and it was the only government institution to be shut down by the congressional hearings last summer. But lest we should feel secure, State Department officials made it clear that they would reorganize the effort by distributing its functions within the department. Another of these national security defense directives established something called the Interagency Operations Subgroup, the OSG, used to try to silence a former FBI agent, among other things, who denounced illegal drug trafficking in the Contra Support Network. The FBI agent's name was Jack Terrell. Terrell had been part of the Rambo-styled civilian military assistance, leading a mercenary group in Central America, and was present at meetings with North, with John Hull and Rob Owen. When he objected to the drug trafficking, the group began applying pressure to silence him, and he is currently facing a variety of phony federal charges in an effort to discredit him. Of course, as we also learned in the Iran-Contra hearings last year, Owen himself had earlier warned North of participation of drug criminals, known drug criminals, in the effort, and North did nothing. Owen, you may not know, had previously been an aide to the then unknown Indiana Senator, Dan Quayle. Surprise, huh? Before joining the North team. So where else was Ollie? Well, by 1986, working with a narrowed National Security Council group, Weinberger and Schultz were kept out of the loop, while Bush was definitely in the loop. North and McFarlane, using private cutouts, Richard Secord and Albert Hakim, the Enterprise as we know it, was dealing with the Iranians. In January '86, George Bush, right? Where was George? His task force on combating terrorism made North the coordinator of the NSC's so-called counterterrorism program, with a new office and staff for the project. It was this apparatus that was used to bypass Congress and sell arms to Iran.